One caveat when putting this thing back together, you'll see this piece where the stepper screw drives it. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing here. But anyway, see how close it is to the housing there? The metal part of the transport? Be patient. And then just work it in and make sure that it slides nice and cleanly like this. If it binds for any reason, look around and make sure that you've got everything right. Things to check are, make sure that this rail right here is properly connected, because when you snap this side in, frequently that side pops out. So make sure that everything is nice and smooth and not binding at all before you secure this back on. Another thing to watch out for during reassembly, make sure that this stepper screw is fully seated in these there are little keys that it matches up with, and they have to be fully seated, and make sure that these are fairly tight, these screws. Otherwise, that could spell trouble. Another helpful tip while reassembling, when you go to put the transport back in and want to attach these springs, right here is the front, and this is the left side pointing down. Just hold your transport like this and let the springs flop down like that. That way it makes it easier. They don't bind anywhere, they don't get caught up. It saves you a lot of swearing. Okay, I've made a tool run and I've returned a bit later with the proper tools to put these springs back on. That's not the proper tool. That's not the proper tool. That's not the proper tool. If you're considering the use of these tools, you might be doing it wrong. I mean, I'm just saying. So, I stepped out the Micro Center, got a kit of bits, because that kit's missing a few that are necessary for the Wii, and the game bits are kind of imprecise on that thing. They don't really fit. So hopefully this kit will work out a little better. The main attraction is this thing. It's billed as a kit of soldering aids, but what I'm going to be using is that tool right there. It's got kind of a 90-degree, well, it's a little more obtuse than 90 degrees, but this tool right here will help me hook those springs back up. Alright, let's get to tearing. That one in the back is a real bitch to get on. So you might have to use a combination of hook tools and straight tools like this spudger here to coerce that thing into getting back installed. Here's another part of the installation that's not going to go in the exact reverse of removal that I documented, and it's this. What I want to do is I want to attach that cable to this and then route it through the hole and secure. Oh, that's another thing to be careful about when you're turning this over. Don't lose any of these gears. But anyway, I want to secure these parts and put that cable in before I put that back in. Just for reference, the board looks like that and the cable goes on that way. This is the control board end. You can see it has that little tail on it so that you can yank it out. Well, the other end of it goes into this connector, and it goes on just like that. Make sure that when you put this board in that you are careful of this switch right here. See, goes in like that. You have to push that switch in before it'll go all the way down. Be careful not to break it. And of course the cable for the wires for the motor, let me get back in frame again. The wires for the motor go underneath this lip. Okay, here's the pivot piece. Unlike on the last deck, you only have one hole to worry about, and it is right there. That's the right hand side arm when you turn this thing over. Make sure that shaft goes into that hole. Like this. And then just plop it in. Let the other shaft go in on the side that corresponds to the left arm. You don't need to worry about a hole here because there isn't one. And it's just a big gap. And secure it with the screw. Oh, and like I said before, make sure to not turn this thing over before that bottom cover is installed on here. Otherwise you're going to have problems with this flimsy thing. See that? That's what happens. Okay? And it'll just mess up your day. Damn Sony. There are no special considerations when you have to put the disc insertion drive in, like there were on the old one. You had some hardware down here in this corner that you had to keep track of. Just make sure that your insertion drive is put together and all of the gears are in over here. I already went through this thing in another video. And then just lay it over the top and snap it down. Make sure it's straight. It's okay to flex it a little. Make sure that there are no gaps. I guess Sony's cheapening of the mechanism worked out in our favor there, because the other one you had to kind of worry about a few things. And well, I guess I'll keep the tape rolling for this part, the optical drive top. It is the same thing. It has the same considerations as the old one. See in the center of the screen these two holes, a bigger one and a smaller one down and off to the left. I'm holding this thing vertical, so those are clear. If you see it like that, just turn it vertical and they'll fall down. And then just put your optical drive top. Hang on. I'm going to look two places at once. Just center it over. There's a clip there, and there's a clip there, and just push straight down. And verify that there is no white showing in those two holes. And before you put your two screws in down here and down here, take that center cap, the clamp for the hub, and throw it on. There you have it. The drive's back together. Now I just got to put it back in there. Make sure that your data cable is straight and clamp down. The other side goes underneath the power supply. Make sure both sides are clamped down. If you didn't mess with this, you won't have to. But it's this side that you want to check. And then just grab your tape or whatever, cover that hole up, and turn it over and you'll be done. Oh, and plug that cable into here and you'll be done. Yay, one of my freebie games from the PSN hacking welcome back appreciation program. It is time to test that drive with this disk. So, take it out. Everything's normal. We get in frame again for the third time and pop the disk in, and it takes it. Listen. Looking good. No abnormal noises. And the clock looks like it's still okay. And let me see here. There's stuff I haven't even packed. Looks like it's reading to me. Quiet. Now, yep, just test with whatever media you're having trouble with and verify that it comes up. And that's the end.